In the shimmering blue waters off the sunny Florida coast lived a young dolphin named Coral. She was known for her playful spirit and her dazzling leaps that sent sprays of water glittering in the sunlight. Coral loved her ocean home more than anything. She would spend her days racing with schools of fish, exploring mysterious underwater caves, and chatting with her many friends. Her world was a kaleidoscope of vibrant coral reefs, swaying sea kelp, and the endless, gentle rhythm of the tides. Every morning, the sun would paint the sky in hues of orange and pink, and Coral would wake up, excited for a new day of adventure. She felt a deep connection to every creature in her vast ocean neighborhood, believing that everyone, big or small, was part of one big family. One particularly bright afternoon, while chasing a silver-finned fish near a cluster of mangrove trees, Coral noticed something unusual. It was a strange, tangled mess floating near the surface, and caught within it was a large bird, struggling weakly. As she swam closer, her playful mood vanished, replaced by a wave of concern. It was a pelican, his wing and leg hopelessly ensnared in a discarded fishing net. The poor bird, whose name was Pierce, was exhausted from his struggle. His feathers were ruffled, and his eyes were filled with a look of despair. He had been diving for fish when he flew right into the nearly invisible net, a treacherous trap left behind by humans. Now, every movement he made only tightened the cruel knots around him. Coral's heart ached for the stranger. She had never spoken to a pelican before, but she knew she had to do something. She swam right up to the tangled mess and gently nudged the pelican with her smooth nose. Pierce flinched, startled by the large creature in the water below. He had always been wary of dolphins, hearing stories of how they playfully tossed fish into the air. But there was no playfulness in Coral's eyes, only a deep, gentle compassion. "Hold still," Coral seemed to say with her soft clicks and whistles. "I want to help you." She tried to use her snout to push the net off, but the plastic lines were tough and wrapped too tightly around Pierce's delicate wing. She nudged and pulled, but the knots wouldn't budge. The more she tried, the more she realized this was a job she couldn't do alone. The net was too strong, and she was afraid of hurting the pelican even more. A feeling of helplessness washed over her, but Coral was not one to give up. An idea sparked in her clever mind. She knew exactly who could help. With a determined flick of her tail, she zipped away, promising the frightened pelican she would be back. She dove deep, swimming with purpose toward the seagrass beds where her oldest and wisest friend lived. Tara, the ancient sea turtle, was resting peacefully on a patch of soft sand, her shell looking like a beautiful mosaic of ocean life. Tara had seen many things in her long life and possessed a calm wisdom that everyone admired. More importantly, her beak was strong and sharp, perfect for cutting through tough materials. Coral explained the situation in a flurry of urgent clicks. Tara listened patiently, her ancient eyes blinking slowly. Without a moment's hesitation, she agreed to help. "Lead the way, little one," she gurgled, and the two friends swam back toward the mangroves as fast as Tara's steady flippers could carry them. When they arrived, Pierce was even weaker, barely able to keep his head above the water. Seeing the giant turtle approach, a fresh wave of fear washed over him. But Coral swam beside him, offering quiet reassurance with her presence. "It's okay," her gentle nudges conveyed. "She's a friend. We're here to set you free." Tara got to work immediately. With the precision of a surgeon, she positioned her powerful beak and began to snip at the tough, unforgiving lines of the net. Snap! One line gave way. Snap! Another piece fell loose. Coral stayed close, using her body to support Pierce and keep him from sinking as Tara worked her magic. It was a slow and careful process. Tara had to be extremely cautious not to nip Pierce's feathers or his skin. Pierce, sensing their genuine intention to help, finally relaxed and held as still as he could. He put his trust in these two sea creatures, complete strangers who were working so hard to save his life. Finally, with one last powerful snap, the final piece of the net broke away and Pierce was free. But his ordeal wasn't over. Exhausted and weak from his long struggle and lack of food, Pierce couldn't fly. His injured wing drooped uselessly at his side. He tried to flap it, but a sharp pain shot through his body. He was free from the net, but now he was vulnerable in the open water, a potential meal for any predator that might pass by. He would surely drown if left alone. Coral understood this immediately. Her job wasn't finished yet. True kindness wasn't just about solving the immediate problem. It was about seeing someone through to safety. She swam underneath him, letting him rest his weary body on her strong, smooth back. "Don't worry," she whistled softly. "I've got you." Gently, she began to push him toward the shore, a small, sandy beach hidden among the mangrove roots. It was a safe, secluded spot where he could rest and recover. The journey was slow, but Coral was patient. She was his protector, his guardian angel from the sea. When they reached the shallow water, Pierce was able to stumble onto the warm sand. He collapsed, utterly spent, but safe. Coral didn't leave him. She patrolled the waters just offshore, her sleek fin cutting through the surface like a silent guard. She watched over him as the sun began to set, keeping sharks and other dangers at bay. She stayed there all night, a steadfast sentinel, until the morning sun rose again. By morning, Pierce had regained some of his strength. He stretched his wings, testing the injured one carefully. It was still sore, but he could move it. He looked out at the water and saw Coral, still faithfully watching over him. A feeling of immense gratitude filled his heart. This dolphin, a creature from a world so different from his own, had shown him a kindness he would never forget. "Thank you," he squawked, his voice filled with emotion. Coral replied with a series of happy clicks and a joyful leap into the air. Seeing that he was going to be okay, she finally swam off to rejoin her world, leaving Pierce to heal on the shore. A few days later, Pierce was fully recovered. He could fly again, soaring high above the blue ocean. But he was a changed bird. He never forgot the dolphin who saved him. From that day on, Pierce became the self-appointed guardian of the coastal waters. From his high vantage point in the sky, he could see things the ocean creatures couldn't. Whenever he spotted the shadow of a shark lurking near the reefs or saw a boat dropping dangerous fishing nets, he would dive down and cry out a loud warning, alerting the dolphins, turtles, and fish below to the danger. He was repaying Coral's kindness by extending it to her entire community. He had learned from her that compassion knows no boundaries, not between species, not between the sky and the sea. The story of Coral the dolphin and Pierce the pelican became a quiet legend along the coast, a beautiful reminder that true kindness isn't just about helping our friends. It's about opening our hearts to strangers and understanding that we are all connected, sharing this one beautiful world together. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from the ocean. See you next time.